I won't bless that guy, that son of a
that son of a that poor son, that poor son, that
son of a bitch.
Okay. Welcome to the Pro Crastinators podcast. It's another week. We had a bye week 2 weeks ago. We got a channel got in trouble for, well,
a salacious link.
Yeah, the YouTube considered the link to Vinny's drawings adult content nudity, breaking terms of service. So we got a temporary we got a 1 week temporary strike or ban or hold or whatever on uploading, not on uploading but on publishing videos.
Yes, so
that was stupid.
We're back.
Not Vinny's fault.
No.
Just like YouTube being, and then I appealed, and then they just have still not. I appealed immediately, and they still have not answered my appeal.
But we're back to having the ability to post, right?
Yeah, all our privileges should be restored now. We still have a warning on the channel from 2 years ago because I or someone else put the link to the shad base in the description.
Lol.
Yeah, I should appeal that again.
No,
and that one's not for nudity. That one's not for nudity or adult content. That one's for like external link / advertising.
I thought that wasn't a problem. Is it just because it's shad based that it was like they caught? Oh, this is one of those websites that are bad.
I don't know. Truly, I don't. You would think that would expire. Especially since I removed the link and appealed.
You gotta appeal more. You gotta be more appealing.
Yeah, damn if that ain't the truth. Remember how I said that? Did I talk about how when I filmed that video, which is almost edited, by the way. I had 14 hours of footage, and I have edited almost 13 hours of it. So it is truly getting down. Might be out this week, honestly. I don't know, unless something unforeseen happens. I went and I bought a light. Did I talk about buying a shop light to light the shot?
You did, yeah.
Well,
I wanted to combine it with the sunlight.
Yes. And it more or less worked. I use that light as my room light now, but it's too bright on its own. So I used I think I probably described how I constructed a cardboard and aluminum foil light funnel for it to try and concentrate the light in one direction. Well, I did, and now I use it, and I put that light funnel on it, and I pointed it at the ceiling, and the white ceiling diffuses the light throughout the room. So now I use it as my room light, and it's great. I mean, I have a light I have a ceiling light, but it's not very bright. So, So it all comes together.
I was about to say, be careful about if it's a more powerful light, you're using more electricity, but you don't have the current issue that we have over here with gas prices and electricity bills going apeshit because of the Ukraine war.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, how much electricity can it be? I mean, it's a bright light, but it just sufficiently lights my room.
I don't know. It's one of those things that you look at the voltages and the amperages and the wattages, and I'm like, it's just electric. I don't get it, but I feel like there's
Amperage, I hardly know her.
You could probably min-max something.
Wait, sorry, I fucked it up. Amperage, I hardly know her-age. There we go, got it.
Amperage, cross the bridge. That's all I've got.
Sounds like a city in England. Amperage,
or New England,
Yeah, you know what? Saw a great tweet. This must have been 2 weeks ago now. It was in Massachusetts. They called the booster shot the booster shot, but it was spelled like Worcester, Worcest.
So the
Wait,
Borcester.
The Borcester. The Borcester shot. Borcester. Yes. Yes.
It's
There we go.
Worcester.
Borcester. Anyway, I'm using that light, and it looks pretty bizarre. It looks pretty bizarre with the light funnel on it because it's like 4 pieces of cardboard and aluminum foil taped together. But like they're taped together imperfectly, so the light kind of seeps out at the corners. So I don't know. It's pretty bizarre looking, but it works. Lights my room. Doesn't get too hot. What more can you ask for?
Don't know. Nothing.
Nothing. That's right. Nothing.
You may
Not a
never
damn
ask
thing.
for anything ever again.
I won't.
Not even one subscriber.
No, please. In fact, I want less subscribers.
Hey,
the video's
Ben.
video's almost edited. It's almost edited, Gib. 13 hours out of 14.
That's great.
I know. Maybe it should be out this week. You never know. You never know what's going to happen, but this week seems reasonable. Okay, what were you saying?
Ben, did you know that the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, is dead?
I choose to believe that it's not true. I
can't stand a world without her.
I'm going to call it fake news. Yeah, and they can't prove it.
They got her coffin. They got her corpse on display right now.
That's what they said about Elvis. They said Elvis was dead. They said the moon landing happened, you know?
They said Elvis died on the moon, taking a shit by taking his space astronaut suit off. And you say, no, you can't do that. And they shit.
That's exactly what they said.
It exploded on the moon.
That's exactly what they said. And it turned out to be false. So what did we learn? Don't trust the mainstream media. Don't trust anyone. That's right.
That's right. It's actually tomorrow that the funeral, like they're going to put her in the ground live on TV. Can't miss it.
Oh, good for her.
She loves the ground.
That's the day that they're gonna that like food banks are closed and like all like funerals are canceled and food banks.
Yeah, people are not allowed to have their own
cancer
funerals.
wards are
in honor in forced honor of the Queen. You cannot do anything on Monday, and if you do,
awesome.
you will be slapped. You will be shunned. You'll be grabbed out of the crowd by monarchist simps.
You know
and
what
you'll
that
be
is?
wrestled to the ground, and then police will be called, and they will charge you for something, for saying, fuck you.
You know what that is? That's idolatry. You're allowed to work on Sunday, on the Sabbath, the day that you're supposed to take off to honor God, but you can't work on Monday to honor the Queen. That's false idolatry right there.
Yes.
Cringe,
I'm probably going to watch
glory
a bit of the...
be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Ghost. We should sing more hymns on this show.
I don't even know hymns. I know...
You don't know...
all things wide and wonderful, all creatures great and small, all things something...
That's just a song.
That's a hymn they sang in church.
It's not a...
Open your hymn book.
It's not a hymn. It's not a hymn unless it sounds bad.
They all
sound
not
a hymn unless it's not
bad.
catchy.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
That one's definitely not a hymn. That's a damn pop. That's a damn pop ballad.
Yeah. That's the only ones I remember.
That one's probably newer than Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
God, it's taking me back. This is the sort of thing because like I went to school. Primary school that had a church, and so it was just sort of a normal thing. We had assembly every morning, and you would sing hymns. And that was like normal.
Hey, Zana, 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 Hosanna. Now there's Zana, hey, Zana, Hosanna. Now there's a good old praise song. It's a good old hymn.
The fucking Harvest Festival one.
Wait, did you know that one I was just singing?
No, I didn't recognize it.
That's Jesus Christ Superstar.
Oh.
That's the joke. Harvest Festival?
There's one about a harvest festival. I'm just like
sounds like some pagan shit to me.
Yeah, probably.
Sounds like some people that celebrate Halloween who I won't associate with.
The fucking If I Had a Hammer song was in there. I think this is like crossing over with just sort of like...
Is that a Jesus song? It is, isn't it?
I think so. If I had a hammer...
I'd
I'd hammer in the morning, I'd have her in the evening.
All over this land.
All over this land. And then it goes to like, if Jesus had a gun, he'd shoot everyone.
The Hammer song. I never sang that song in church, but there's a Garfield strip where John is singing it, and I didn't recognize the tune, and I was like, Mom, what is the song John is singing? And she was like, oh, there's a church song. I'd hammer in the morning. It's like, I've never actually heard it sung. I've just heard that song described.
Yeah.
She tried to describe
some
the
of those
song
songs are kind of fun to sing along with.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's why they make songs, so that they're more fun to sing than to just say, yeah.
Yeah. Pop songs, they changed it. They made it so you can't tell what they're saying, but it doesn't matter because it's so fucking cool.
Because it's so fucking epic. Because you can bump and grind to it. Because you can get out there and have premarital sex on the dance floor to it. The sinful secular pop music.
If you forced it, you can bump and grind to If I Had a Hammer. You can bump and grind to all those hymns.
Yeah. You know what? You're absolutely right. And I have been humiliated. You've been
thoroughly pwned this day.
To be a fool. That's right. Why are we talking about God? Because I love him so much. Yes.
Yes.
We should talk more about his glory. That's his with a capital H. No? Okay.
Nah,
you know
fuck
what?
God. You know what God did?
Yeah,
God chose the queen, and the queen sucks. Fuck the queen.
He chose to kill the
king.
queen. He chose to kill the queen, and I can never forgive him for that.
He chose to give the queen the powers.
He chose to take her away at the young age of like 97, and 96. Like she had so much more good left to do in this world.
It's only 96, Ben. Get it right.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Young.
I'm just wishful. It's just wishful thinking. Just wishful thinking. She could have made it just one more year.
70 more years. 70 more years.
I see people that are like, fuck the queen. I honestly, I don't know enough about Elizabeth to have a particularly strong opinion about her one way or the other. Was she a good queen? Was she a bad queen? Was she just carrying on the legacy of colonialism? Well, did she do anything to improve it in her own small way? I don't know. So I haven't been queen posting because I don't have a position that I can defend.
I mean, the position I have is regardless of how nice she was and how good of a queen she was, she didn't abolish the monarchy.
So
like she kept the status quo of the monarchy being in charge technically, and any argument you say, well, they don't have real power. They have a huge amount of money. They cost the country money at all.
Well, they make like proclamations, right? They make like they have some degree of like
they
policy
do.
making.
No, they
power.
like on the technical level. Laws only exist when the queen or king now will look over them and say yes. But they always say yes. So it's sort of... It's not really... Like, you could argue it's not real power. But it is technically the case that they have the final say.
Theoretically, they could veto a law that passed through Parliament.
Yeah. And I think the House of Lords as well. If even the Lords say, the monarch gets to say no or yes.
Yeah.
And, people argue that the queen always goes with whatever Parliament goes with, so she doesn't have real power. And it's like, in practice, sure, but I don't think that is a good argument for keeping her and the monarchy system around.
That's a little bit like how, like, theoretically, the electors in the American Electoral College, like, could not vote according to the way that their state told them to, and, like, theoretically, they could, and they have done it, but it's never swung an election. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad she's dead. Ha! And then watch this video get flagged by the British government and taken down.
the monarchy is bad. We can all agree on that. It's just a weird, dumb thing to have in the year of our Lord 2020. Could she have abolished it? Could she have just said, as queen, there's no more monarchy. We're private citizens now.
I think if she by herself said no more monarchy, it wouldn't work. I think she could abdicate, and then next in line would become the king, and everyone would just do that, and she would still be alive. I don't actually know by what means she would try to abolish the monarchy, because it's I don't know. Even if every single person who is recognized as a royal family person was killed in a catastrophic tornado, and there's no one left, they could go up the family tree and then go back down and find an heir, and so there will always be a monarch. I don't know how you would abolish it without I don't know how any other country do it. This is where my history is lacking.
It would be a pretty based move. I don't know if she maybe she lacks any sort of formal power to decree that the monarchy is abolished. That's probably not in any books anywhere. It would be right. I'm sure the books all refer to the existence of a monarch under the assumption that there will continue to be one. But it would be a pretty based move if she were to be like, okay, I am stepping down as monarch because I do have the authority to do that. And I am personally coming out with I personally proclaim that I think the monarchy should be abolished. So I'm stepping down. I'm just going to continue to live over here as the resigned queen. My successor can, become king if he wants to, but I don't acknowledge him as a real monarch because I don't believe in such things anymore. If that was the best she could do formally, then that would be cool, and that would be cool of her, and I wouldn't be celebrating her death right now. But the fact is, she lived her whole life to uphold the systems that were in place that led to her having such wealth and opulence. It's of course she wouldn't say let's tear this down. She just likes it. She likes it. Right.
Nobody would ever say
for her.
Nobody would ever say that she likes being rich, but of course she did. She didn't do anything about it.
Right. Yeah. What was that? What's that one post on a Facebook post that's the idiot queen and her idiot hat or something?
Oh, that's Christopher Eccleston. That's the Doctor Who actor who with the resurgence of Doctor Who in 2009 or something. That's the first. Yeah. That's the him before David Tennant. He's cool. He hates the monarchy.
It seems like there's a not insignificant amount of British people that are just hey, the monarchy's bad. Actually, why do we still have this?
Yeah.
Would you say?
Would you say most hate the monarchy?
Would you say most people are like that, or would you say that's would you say the average person is mildly pro monarchy?
I mean, as far as tallies go, what do you call it when you ask people what they think? 60% are pro monarchy.
That's funny.
And it's probably it's not exactly a political thing, but I think it's obvious that if you're a right leaning person, you're pro monarchy because that's what you aspire to is having power and whatever.
I feel like even a middle of the road liberal, someone like CGP Grey is but the monarchy is actually good for the economy. Yeah. It's a sort of thing where if you don't think about it, it seems nice. It's all that. Look at all that cool stuff. Isn't that cool? I can be proud to be associated somehow to that culture. It's right. Yeah, but it's one thing to have it's our culture, but the culture of colonialism, the culture of having vast wealth, and then the serfs who don't. That sucks. That's a shitty culture. Why would you be proud of such a thing? It's there's an artist called oh shit. Well, they're called Red and Black Salamander. They're called 9mm something. I follow them on Twitter. They have a cartoon that's really good. It's it's a big rich capitalist and then a bunch of farmers around him, and it's look at everything the capitalist is like, look at everything I've got, and all the farmers are like, hey, what the, he's got like piles of gold or whatever, and then he's like, and then he draws a circle around the land that they're standing on, and then he's still got it, but he's like, look at everything we've got, and all the farmers are like, yeah. So yeah, it's like that. I get you. Shit, what was I talking about?
You're just asking if the average person...
Oh, the average person.
Yeah, I mean, when, like, I don't know, there's a few people who, if I ask them, they'd probably be pro-monarchy. Like friends of parents and stuff that I've met before. But vast majority of people I know as associates or friends, they're either ambivalent or would be like, yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
So I haven't really grown up in a pro-monarchy thing, even though I think there was a part of my teenage years where, as a rebellious move, because I'm such a rebel and such a contrarian rebel...
Did you become pro-monarchy for a while?
I became pro-monarchy for a little while because,
I get you.
And it's so like, yeah, but like, whatever, it's cool. Look at all that cool stuff. Look at the castles and the cannons.
Damn it, I had this, I've probably talked about how I kind of had the same thing where, like, for a little bit in high school there, I was sort of like, I would never call myself a conservative, but I would dabble in like, but what if George W. Bush is actually like right to like not respond to Hurricane Katrina? What if shit, what was the other one? What if the Iraq War was good actually? Like, what if same-sex parents shouldn't be able to adopt kids? Just being because everyone around me was liberal because I was in Massachusetts. It's like, my stupid teachers think that like gay people should have rights. Well, I'll show them. I'll stick it to the man, right? Because in my limited field of view, all the authority figures were like, good things are good actually, and I was like, I'll show you. I'll show you. You are gonna give me homework, and then you're gonna have political opinions. Let me see to that. Let me change that. We're gonna do something about this. We're gonna set this record straight. I guess it's a good sign then that like I grew up in a pretty not left necessarily. Liberal, like left-leaning, I guess. It's definitely got more left-leaning over the years, very recently. Yeah.
Like my dad is like pro-socialism, which is a strange thing.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, my dad is I think my dad is a Bidenite. So,
Not so bad.
Makes basically a communist. Yeah, he's basically a revolutionary, yeah. Biden has been so popular these days. Everybody loves Dark Brandon. He's skyrocketing into the poll. I'm not even kidding. I wish I was kidding.
I mean, it is kind of funny. And it's so really easy funny. Because like the Republicans are like, oh, we've overturned Roe v. Wade. Everybody disliked that. Like liberals, even some conservatives were like, it. Yeah. Okay, that's weird. Because it's like the more fringe right wing opinions are getting like the main attention. So it's like, obviously you'd rather Biden over anything of that. Do you think that's why his... I mean, I've heard... It's that combined with a few things lately that Biden has said that have like cemented his opposition to that kind of right wing in the Republican Party. So I'm like, not sure. I think there's... Why? What do you think? I'm honestly not even sure that I can opine on like how the like normal like fucking Joe Sixpack mind thinks about things like politics. I mean, gas prices kind of went down a bit, so I mean, I feel like that's big. They're still up from where they were before, but they are not as bad. And like presidential approval ratings are like extremely tightly correlated with gas prices. Yeah, I suppose there's other things like. Biden siding against Russia in the whole Ukraine thing. It's like, I mean, Russia's easy to hate. I mean, I think every fucking Western politician is against Russia, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that's a slam dunk. There's no It's just
No
like the
question
bad
about
guys
that.
are so evil right now. It's like he doesn't need
True,
to do that
King,
much to
true.
seems
Biden for
like the
life.
good guy.
Biden for life. No more elections.
Biden for life
Yeah.
won't last very long.
Nah, true.
He's almost the Queen's age.
Is he?
How old is he? He's like in his 70s.
He might be 80. How old is
Might
Biden?
be. He's definitely not in his 90s.
He's 79. He's 79.
Yeah.
That's actually, I thought he was in his 80s. It's actually a little bit younger than I thought. No, that's right. Cuz like isn't Trump like the same age? Like Trump, Hillary and Biden are all like 75 plus.
It's just going to be a rotation of those three
Trump
forever.
is 76.
It's her turn next.
I mean, if they live as long as the Queen did. Sure.
Yeah.
They've got so many more terms left in them. They're spry.
No.
Spring chickens, yeah. What
So,
are
yeah.
we talking about?
The only thing that's
Pelosi, 82.
interesting, the only thing that's I'm finding a little interesting about the funeral that's coming up is that like an incredibly large gathering of world leaders, politicians, royals from other kingdoms are coming to see the Queen's funeral. They're all going to be in the same place. It's going to be like a reverie in One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sabo's going to come in, and he's going to kill someone. He's going to
Sabo?
assassinate someone.
You talking about like from One Piece?
Oh no, did I spoil it?
I
think I
don't
spoiled
know. I mean, yeah, but like I'll forget by the time I catch up.
Yeah. Hey, Eleazar, bleep that for any audience members who are not caught up on One
Sabo
Piece.
will come in and he's gonna bleep somebody.
He's going to bleep somebody.
Let me see.
Dude, One Piece is so fucking epic.
Yeah,
I've been reading the most recent chapters, and you're gonna love it.
I should. I'm sure I will love it. I have no doubt that I will love it when I finally get around to it. I'm asking Oblivion Fall if he has any more of those, any more voicemails from that side voicemail channel that he made.
In other news, I guess I've got some Clarissa stuff down. I counted
Hell
up.
yeah!
I counted up.
I saw you tweeting. I saw you tweeting about that, or you made
Yeah,
a tweet.
I forgot the number, but I think, what was it? Let me check my Twitter. Find out the knowledge.
Indeed.
Why do I tweet anything other than one thing? Okay.
One must always find the knowledge.
So, currently 54 pages are sketched. I've made 50 pages already. Those are ones that
Those
are
are the
out.
ones that are done and published, okay.
Yeah, so it's 50 for the Tezuka Award, and that's where I stopped. 54 pages are now sketched, because I did like 11 the other day. And it may take another 30 pages beyond that. So it could be like 134.
Have you been sketching pages, or is this just your count of the ones you already had?
I've been sketching pages, like recently. It wasn't 54. It was more like 34.
Okay, cool.
So I'm making progress. It's difficult, like laying out a page and being like, okay, well, do I want this panel to fill up the page, or do I want it to be small? I don't know. Where do I put the speech bubble? I mean, the speech bubbles is not so difficult, because if I know what I want to be said, it's just a case of like arranging the bubble in the panel where the person's speaking.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But there's a few ones that are like, this could be a smaller panel, but it's cool as a full page spread. But I worry that maybe I'm like zooming out too much, and when it's a full thing, it's like the image is too big, and I could fit more onto less pages. Because I don't know. How do you do that?
I think it's probably, well, my problem is usually zooming in too far. So if it were me, I would say, if I sometimes think I'm zooming out too far, that probably means I'm doing it right, because like my tendency is to go too far in the opposite direction. I don't know if you're the same way though.
I mean, I keep the A4 page on my monitor full so I can see the whole thing. So I can say, okay, from the last page that she does this motion, so we need a reaction shot. I just randomly draw a rectangle and then see if I can fit something in it that looks right. And if it doesn't, I change the rectangle. And then, okay, what else? What space left do I have on the page? Most of the time, doing it this way, I make a page layout and I'm like, yeah, that works. And I don't think too much more beyond it, and it's fine. But I feel like there's a lot of artistry that I'm not going into. Like, I could be panel laying out beautiful panels, or just being gooder at it. But I just want it down. I just want to sketch it all down, so I have all these pages.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, you can always mix up. You could always do the rough sketch and then mix up the paneling.
Yeah,
later.
I mean, that does become a little finicky, where it's like, oh, this panel, this on this other page would work better on the previous page. I gotta move it over, and then gotta shrink some of the other panels. Sometimes I just drag like a lasso around it and like squish it so that it fits.
Yeah, and
it's like it works fairly well. I think I'll need to go over them all again and be like just to think about how good that would be to read before I like sketch it all down. But it's happening. It's happening. I'm making it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good. That's good news. Did you finish those commissions?
No. Look,
Gib, I'm gonna whack you with the newspaper.
There's a single commission left that I have not started, and then another one which I need to like finish the coloring on. So I'm basically done. So don't worry about it. Right.
And I have edited 13 out of 14 hours of my video, so I'm basically done. I should just. Thank you. So I should just stop here. Actually, it's basically done, so I should just leave it.
Yeah, and delete it as well.
And also, because if I actually post it, then I'll lose motivation to work on it. So like, that reminded me of something. Oh no, fuck, what was it? I actually did get distracted. I'm sure I already complained about how I got ghosted on Alibaba, right? That printer won't talk to me anymore.
Yeah, is that still happening?
Well, she has not contacted me, so I have two options. I was doing the price calculations, and it was so irritating because, like, according to the figures they gave me, including shipping, it was going to be a whole like $3 or $4 less for a per copy. If with that printer, it's a significant difference, and it's really upsetting. I genuinely think, and this sounds so stupid, I genuinely think I'm gonna like make a new account and contact them again and like pretend I'm a different person and like fucking catfish them and try to get me to like print my stupid fucking book anyway. I don't know, just because they're just being cunts about it.
Have you not?
They have better prices. They have.
Message? Have you not left a second message? Are you just
fool? Yes, I've left messages. I've left several messages being like, "Hey, why have you not contacted me back? Like, why did you stop?" And they're all red. It's like they're all on red. She's seen them all and has chosen not to respond. So it's like a deliberate attack.
Then yeah, I guess you could try. Yeah. Do they know what the project is already? Would they recognize you?
No, they would not recognize. I never sent like the page files or told them what the book was, so they might recognize it if I like am asking for a book that's the same same page count and size and stuff. It's possible, I don't know. But they haven't seen the files, so they might also not recognize. I don't know. I'm gonna like finish the layout because I never like quite finished doing the layout and doing the final cover. So I'm gonna finish that, and then I'm gonna fucking catfish this stupid bitch. And then I'm gonna do that. And if it doesn't work, then I'll just have to go with one of the other companies. But it's seriously like this company if I printed like at 100 copies, it was going to save me like $4 per copy, which is significant. If I printed 500 copies, it was going to be like less than half the price. It was, or maybe not less. It was going to be like almost a 50% like savings. Let's say 30%. It was going to be like a 30% savings to print like a large number with this company as opposed to the other ones. And like the paper types were all the same. I don't know. I think it would have been a similar product, just cheaper. And I'm like, I can't, it's gonna kill me. It's gonna eat away at me if I do the Kickstarter and like the book has to cost like $35 when I know it could cost $30. If only fucking stupid cunt Mei Zhang or whatever her name is, just didn't ghost me, right? Just because like out of spite one day she decided I'm bored of this guy. I don't want to print his sample copies.
You got Lord of Ghosted.
I wish she was dead. I want to kill her.
Oh, then you'll be ghosting her.
Yeah, that's right. I'm gonna make her a ghost. How could you do this to me? It's genuinely upsetting, and I'm getting upset thinking about it. Why have I been attacked like this? Why have I been persecuted like this? And that sounds like a joke when I say it, but I'm absolutely 100% not joking. I have to get those savings. I have to get those precious savings, and then pass them on to the consumer at any cost.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
I was considering for the Clarissa, like going through Amazon to have it be like, oh, you can
like print on
buy
demand
and print on demand.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be, if that's doable, or
it is doable
enough quality, that would be a lot safer, a lot less strenuous way of getting that physical out there.
It's true. It's safer. It's less strenuous, but the margins are worse. It's cheaper.
Definitely,
It's cheaper to print them yourself, but it is less of a headache.
It's so much more like. I feel like it's well worth the cost based on my experience sending the Lord of Ghosts book out.
Yeah,
like it's just. There's so much with this. It's mostly customs. It's mostly the fact that customs in various countries can just randomly decide, even though it's all labeled properly, that they can just rip it open and say, oh, this looks stupid, and throw it back and say it sucks. And it appears like 7 months later at my door, like destroyed. And I have to like package it and send it again.
Oh,
and I hope that it doesn't happen again.
I finally went and I opened a new P.O. box at my new address, so I can finally tell my stupid landlord what my mailing address is, so that I can finally maybe even get her to give me some of my old security deposit back. That's exciting. I have a new P.O. box, which is good. The P.O. box is going to be like, it's tiny. It's too small to hold like anything. But it doesn't matter, because I don't know why people buy the bigger boxes, because if a thing is too big for your P.O. box, they just hold it for you. They just hold it for you and they give you a slip, and then you give them the slip and they're like, here, we had it in the back room for you. So like, I'm just going to abuse that.
Yeah, like not even big enough for envelopes. They have to keep the envelopes in the back.
It's big enough for envelopes, but if I do Slime and Punishment, I'm gonna be sending them in like boxes, like little, like not large boxes, but like boxes that will not fit in this box, in this PO box is what I mean. What else was it? Shit, I was gonna say something else about. Oh yeah, the book. What I need to do, I distracted myself from finishing editing the video because I was contacting some of the other printers to like get other price quotes just to compare, to like find out, okay, like what is the price difference I'm looking at here. And I pulled out my paper samples and I'm like, looking at them. And I think I meant to do this before and I should have finished this. I need to just like get a sample copy from, honestly, doesn't need to be the same company. I should get sample copies from anyone, whatever. And I can use those sample copies as like this is what the book is going to look like when I do the Kickstarter. It doesn't matter if it's from the same company or not, as long as the final whoever I end up getting the final copies from, make something that looks very similar. So I'm probably just going to maybe buy samples off of like this other guy whose prices are not as good, and meanwhile sneakily try and catfish the lady into into giving me her deal. That's my plan going forward. But I pulled out all these paper copies and I'm comparing like 16 point glossy laminated versus like this is 250 GSM UV coated. I hate it. I once again have pulled out my copy of Problem Sleuth to like compare page weights. Somehow, even when a paper type is like just as thick, just as sturdy, just as glossy, laminated, whatever, it just feels like a piece of shit. When I'm holding the paper sample in my hand, it feels like garbage, like it belongs in the trash. Versus like in the book form, it feels good and it feels right, and it's like, yes, this is how a book should feel, even when it's like very similar paper consistency.
I think it's just the fact that it's a single sheet and not like many together. You don't get the real sense of like how a book with paper like this would feel.
Yeah. It's a psychological barrier.
You gotta trust the paper.
But I gotta send some other guy the same request as I sent to this other lady and be like, hey, I want a bunch of different samples and I want them arranged this, that, and the other way. I want different types of paper on each one so I can compare them. And hopefully this person doesn't ghost me for the same request. Yeah. Anyway, I feel like I was getting bored of editing. So even though it's like almost done, I was like, ugh, I don't want to look at this anymore. I will pull out my paper samples and I will do a different thing right when I'm near the finish line. Oh, by the way, speaking of feeling bad while editing, remember, do you recall that we recorded a bonus episode last week, Gib?
Yes, I remember.
Do you remember?
For the bonus episodes of the Procrastinators podcast Patreon.
Patreon.com/the Procrastinators to find this and so many other bonus episodes. I think this is 57th bonus episode. We did a 3-hour long episode where because we needed to clear the voicemails out, we went back through all the old voicemails and we listened to all the ones that had never been listened to.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I did go and clear them out. So the voicemail box is empty again. It should be able to receive voicemails as it used to be. I remember how... Well, I think that we eventually went too far, and I think we eventually ended up listening to some that we had already listened to.
I don't remember any of those, if we did.
I'm thinking some of the samurai ones might have been ones that actually we had listened to on the show, because we definitely went past the era of like back when Nate used to screen the voicemails.
Yeah, there was like there was a bunch of pages missing. It was like, oh, this one was from 4 years ago, and then suddenly it was from 1 year ago. Yeah,
well, that was because I cleared those out, because those were ones that I knew we had definitely. Those are ones that I knew had been not screened, but had been like listened to on the show. So yeah, I think we went past that. But we accomplished the goal of listening to all the unlistened to voicemails from 4 or 5 years ago, Lamau. Anyway, the point is, do you recall how when we were recording that episode, I was having a crisis about my hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I shaved my head.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I did it. I was editing the video, editing the new video. I just think my hair looked so bad, and it was stressing me out, and so I went to my bathroom and I was like, I'm going to give myself a haircut. I think it would look better shorter. I was thinking like, my hair is too long. It's hanging in a weird way. It's not flattering. If I give myself just like a more shorter haircut, I think it will look better. and I started trimming my hair, and it looked worse instead of better. And I was like, no, this isn't working. No, fuck it. Shaving it all. So I'm bald now, and that's life. That's just, the root of all suffering is attachment, Gib.
The root of all suffering, more like the root of all hair.
What?
Like the root, the...
Oh, yeah.
The root of all suffering is the same as the hair
right,
root.
It's the root. It's where it grows out of. No, I'm
gonna delete all that.
No, I'm gonna be a bald guy for a while. I ordered a like head trimmer. I ordered like a specific like a head trimmer for like the head, because the clippers, the beard trimmers are not very efficient for shaving one's head. So I got like an adjustable one. Well, yeah. So this is me now. This is me now. But I trimmed my beard too short. I should have kept my beard longer. My beard is like stubble now.
That's often how like it feels like balance. If you've got no hair on your head, you just have a big dwarf beard and it looks fine.
You got hair on your head? That's good. You got hair anywhere else? That's way bad.
Get rid of them eyebrows.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So that's my latest development.
I'm just imagining a style where you shave one side of your head and then the opposite side's eyebrow. So you have one eyebrow and bald on one side, but then hair on the other without an eyebrow. You think that could work?
I think you would look more normal on the side where you still had the eyebrow and no hair, because that's a more normal way to look. It's not as bad as I thought. I think my head shape is normal, so whatever. I just think it looks normal, so it's fine. Not as bad as I was afraid it would be.
It is one of those weird things, though, isn't it? Like, if you've never had no hair, you have no idea really what your skull head shape looks like.
I did shave my head in college one time, and I didn't really like it. I decided not to stick with it, obviously. But like, whatever. It was fine. It was fine then, and it's fine now. Oh shit! I was gonna say, what was it? What else was I gonna say? Oh fuck! Oh no! I can't remember. Okay, it's gone. Cover for me.
I don't know.
I swear I had no. I had like one more note to say about it. Oh well, it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
Something about something about my head shape. I was gonna say I talked a little bit on that bonus episode about like hair therapy methods that I was dabbling with. Like I'll continue to do those and like just see what happens. But for the moment, I'm just like, fuck it. No more hair. It's stressing me out. So fuck it. And that's where I'm at with it.
Well, it's good to take a stand and make that change, and as if you feel like it's fine, then it's good.
Like in the Bible, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away.
Oh,
and if your hair causes you to either to sin against God or to just feel a little bad sometimes, same deal.
Chop off your head.
Chop off if your head causes you to sin, chop it off and throw it away. That's right. Damn. Well, that's my big news for the week, and we're only 45 minutes in, so damn, we're boned for content.
Well, I can tell you that I got to 102. This is RuneScape news, everybody. Hey, Scapers.
Let's start a jingle. Eleazar, write a jingle for RuneScape news. Shit, I'm looking around. No, I have nothing I could use as a makeshift musical instrument.
I could go get a musical instrument, but I don't want to. Run, escape.
What a
it's
failed
RuneScape.
bit. Failed
no.
bit. Okay.
I wasn't even trying to make it a bit. It was just said RuneScape news.
I think it should have a jingle. I think it deserves a jingle.
Go to Google, download trumpet sound, and then use that.
Trumpet sound. Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I got all the iron ore I need. I have in the bank 102,000 iron ore.
Hey, remind me what the connection is between iron ore and runite?
They're both ores that you can mine. Iron obviously becomes iron, and runite becomes rune. Like a rune bar that you can smith into like a rune dagger.
Because I saw you posting that like you had overflowed your runite into like 100k and it was like no longer showing you the number anymore.
Yeah, that happens with money as well. If you get the stack large enough, I didn't realize it happened to things that weren't money. But if you get a stack high enough, it no longer shows the number. It shows 100 and something K. So I knew I needed a little over 102k. Or actually, a little under 102k. So I got 102k, and that's plenty.
So
now I have all the iron ore I need, and I need to now mine 200,000 or so coal, so that I can combine the iron and coal together. 1 part iron, 2 parts coal to make steel.
Yeah.
A steel ingot, a steel bar, which I can smith into stuff for experience.
Okay, yes. So you've got all the iron you were looking for. So your plan is to smith it into stuff. Is that the final goal? What's the final goal?
The final goal is to get to level 99 fletching, having only prepared in free-to-play RuneScape.
Do you need iron for fletching?
To make iron arrows, but I need the steel specifically as like the fastest available method of raising my smithing level, because if I can't smith certain things, I can't do the fletching because I gotta make arrowheads of you need
the smithing skill that's required to make arrowheads so that you can fletch with them, so that you can raise your fletching skill.
Yeah, so the 102,000 iron ore turns into 102,000 steel bars, which should be enough experience to get me to the required smithing level. And that is my current goal. It's a lot of mining, but it's fun. It's just every so often where I feel like playing it for an hour or two, and I listen to a video.
You know, I tried to boot up Noita the other day because I had not played it in a long time, and I was like, I'll just play a quick Noita, and I opened it up, and it turned out that I had forgotten it is like auto saved on like a very like late game save file. Like I'm very near the end of the run, and I have a really powerful wand, and I was like, oh shit. And I remembered, oh yeah, I have this run where every time I beat the run and win, it like crashes and doesn't remember that I won, and it auto loads back at that same thing. I have like a bugged autosave file.
Huh.
And I was like, you know what? Good. You know what? It's good that I can't play Noita. This is better, actually.
Yeah, you were a big Noita head for a while.
I was pretty noited. Yeah, I was noited. I was too noited. I mean, I almost spent 1,000 hours on it, so that's cringe. There are YouTubers that have made like, maybe a career is putting it strongly, but there are YouTubers that have made like a lot of content. They've even made it their whole brand almost, just centered around playing Noita, and like they've played like a comparable amount to how much I played. So just. What I'm saying is, like, I played enough Noita that I could have been a Noita content creator if I had put my mind to it, but I didn't.
Is that why it's cringe? That you didn't turn your enjoyment of a video game into something that someone else can consume?
That's not exactly why it's cringe. Although, if I were monetizing it somehow, it might mitigate the cringe a bit. But that's not just why. It's cringe because in hindsight, I don't really think there were 1,000 hours of content there to be wrung out of it. I don't think I don't know if I got, not all of those 1,000 hours were necessary for me to have, been done with Noida, I think. It's not 1,000, it's 900. It's like 900 and something hours. I could have put a lot less in and gotten the same amount out, is what I'm saying.
I mean,
but I didn't.
Would you say it's because of like getting a little far in and being like, this sucks, reroll, gotta reroll?
No,
or like,
no, it was just it's because I don't know, I think I was just kind of addicted to it for a while. I was just like, I would just start it up and just do it, and it would just be what I was doing, even when like I didn't. I don't know how to describe it. I just would do it compulsively. I would just play Noida, and I think it was bad. Does that adequately explain my feelings?
Yeah,
about
that sometimes happens.
Yeah,
I definitely got into a habitual logging on to World of Warcraft back in the day.
Yeah,
it wasn't even necessarily that I enjoyed things. It's just like I'm resuming my playtime from before. It's not like I'm starting again. I've got all these many quests, these many things to grind on. So let's just grind on something.
I mean, an MMO is kind of designed to get you to engage with it that way, though, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it's a little I think it's a little weird to look back and be like, why did I put 900 hours into Noida? Like, what was the point?
I mean, you liked it, right?
I did like it. Yeah, I just liked it.
Sometimes there's a boy in his game. That's all there is.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, some people like play like chess every day. They just love chess. It's not like chess is worse or better than a video game. It's just an older thing.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess there's any number of things people do just for fun. Yeah, and that's just... I think you could see it as a waste of time if you wanted to.
Yeah, I would never say it's a waste of time. It's definitely... it starts to become a problem where it eats into time that you need to use. Like, if it's a sort of game that hooks you in and keeps you there for, like, 12 hours, well, you need to eat, you need to go to the bathroom, you need to, do other things, you need to get fresh air. Like, a game that keeps you locked in for extremely long periods of time isn't healthy. But playing a game for a large amount of hours, just, like, in aggregate, there's nothing wrong with that.
There were definitely times when I would just play Noida all day. And that's probably not always good.
Yeah, you can have a few of those, but like life needs to continue going on.
Yeah,
and there's always things to do.
And I mean, a lot of those were pandemic. A lot of that was pandemic time.
Oh well, don't worry about it then.
I did. Yeah, well, it wasn't exclusively limited to then, but like, I mean, I do think I racked up the bulk of my Noida hours in pandemic times, lockdown times. So. That's my excuse. Man.
I don't even remember what I did in lockdown.
I played Noida, and I made gummies.
Yeah. I made The Lord of Ghosts early in the year.
Oh, and I worked on Phantom's Revenge, of course.
We did... Oh, I did Lord of Ghosts from January to March. And then we did Radcon 4, and then I came back. And then we're in lockdown. I think the Lord of Ghosts had already been finished. And then later I did Clarissa. And I don't even know what I did in the months that I didn't do that. Clarissa was like August. What the hell happened? Did I just play games? I don't even know.
I often find myself being like, what did I do for this certain period? Actually, yesterday was a micro. I genuinely don't remember what I did yet. I was going to sleep yesterday, and I was like, what did I do all day? What did I do? Like, I didn't... I guess I fucked around with, paper samples for a little bit. I messaged that guy from the other printing company a little bit. I did reorganize my room a little bit. And those all seem like such small things, and yet they added up to, oh, my day's gone. I didn't even get any editing done. And so, yeah, sometimes I feel that way about like a whole month or a whole year. But usually if I think about it, I can recall like, oh, no, I was making the game, or no, I was making the comic, or yeah.
Yep.
It's a bad feeling though.
It is a bad feeling.
It's a bad feeling that usually I can dissuade myself. I can remember, no, I did this and that and the other thing. There's usually something.
It's always looking back though. Like in the moment, I know I'm enjoying myself. I'm just relaxing, chilling out, doing things I want to do.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not like life affirming, like the most incredible thing ever happened to me today, and I'll remember this memory forever. Some days are just nice and comfortable, and then I forget what happened during them when I try to recall them, because they were similar to other days. I think it's only sad looking back and being like, oh, I don't have any memory.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta vlog it all. You gotta contentize it.
Yeah, when you don't remember it, it's like it never happened. And that's kind of what it's when you're not doing new stuff, when you fall into your routine of doing the same thing every day, then it gets harder to remember it because every day is sort of the same. And so you can't really distinguish one day from another, so it kind of just feels like one day that you repeat it over and over again. Like the more of a routine you have, the less distinct memory you have of the long period that it occurred over.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know. I guess it's not good. I guess it's why you gotta do stuff. I don't know.
I feel like there's an argument that it's not good. But when I really think about it, it really is only like a future problem. Like, I'll be sitting around being like, what happened that year? Man, I don't think anything happened. And that's what will happen, is that if I did the same stuff for a while, I won't remember it individually. Or just, I'll have a vague sense of stuff, maybe. And it's like, that's a thing, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Should I feel bad about, like, having a routine? Or should I not?
I think...
I
yeah,
don't know.
well, I mean, I think you should... Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just depends how it's working for you.
I mean, everyone likes having, like, significant memories. I feel like I just want to avoid stressing out about not leading the most amazing life, because then I'd be stressed out all the time.
Well, I guess it would depend on if your routine is working for you, if it's getting you the results you want.
Currently, it is. I mean, it's getting me more results than earlier, which was big depression mode.
Yeah.
Now I'm just chugging away, doing a little bit here and there, playing a game in the time off, and I'm like, I don't know what happened. But eventually I'll have a comic, and I can be like, oh, well, what do you know?
Yeah. And that's
Don't that beat all?
Is that from something? Won't that beat
I
all?
thought it was just a...
Don't that beat all?
Isn't that just a phrase? Like a saying?
Yeah, maybe. I've heard...
Don't that beat all of the other things that it could possibly have been? Whatever.
Don't that just beat all? I feel it might just be a saying.
Don't that just jack off?
Doesn't that just... Yeah. I don't know. It reminds me of something, but I can't think of what it is at the moment. 1 second. I need to crack another sparkling water.
If you got to crack it, is it an ice cube?
Going for the rare and elusive cran raspberry this week. By this week, I mean today. What was I saying? Man, my new room is so much less. It's not even that it's good. It's just so much less depressing than my old room. It makes me so happy.
That's great.
It is great. Boy, that shit was a nightmare. That's all I have to say about that.
Yes. It is good when Ben Saint is not depressed by his living situation.
True, though. Although I tried I tried a gummy thing that didn't work out, and it was sad. I tried. Okay, I think I mentioned, or maybe I mentioned it in my Patreon podcast, which I made one of the other day. That like I tried. I switched to powdered gelatin. I tried switching back from sheet gelatin to powdered gelatin, and it was pretty successful. I was like, this result is pretty good. So I tried making. I thought it was going to be fancy, and I was like, okay, why don't I mix up, since all the ingredients are powdered now, why don't I just mix up all the ingredients in like a big batch? And then I can keep, instead of having to combine the ingredients when I want to make a new batch, I can just have a tub full of the already combined ingredients, and I can just scoop them and combine them with water and make it that way.
Just add water.
Yeah, literally like a just add water version. Well, I tried it, and I made it. They came out very uneven. Maybe I just didn't mix it enough, because like I made 4 batches, and like out of this like, you know, this big sort of pre-combined amount of powder that I made, and one came out very kind of soft and kind of particly. Another came out decent. Another one came out like gritty. And then the last one came out like the texture was okay, but I didn't like the flavor. That's not really the mix's fault. So, I
definitely sounds like a mix problem.
I think it was a mix problem. I guess I should try it again and try mixing it more thoroughly. But I guess the one concern I have is, what if there's no amount of mixing that I can do that will cause it like it'll still like naturally separate or something? If it will naturally separate once it's mixed, then there's no point pre-mixing it, because I'll just have to like mix it again before I use it every time. And then what was the point?
Could you do an experiment to figure out if that happens?
Yeah,
like a small sample and mix them together and see if they separate over time.
I should try making like a smaller amount. Yeah, saving it in like a jar or something.
So these are all like powdery things you're adding together.
Yes, that's the reason why I decided. I explained this in the Patreon. I didn't go that much into it. You know what? I'll say the same thing I said. That doesn't have to be exclusive content. I had been using the sheet gelatin because it's fancier and it's more pure, and that's true and whatever. But I realized, like, wait, if I use the powder, then like all the ingredients are powder, and I can just pre-combine them, because it's like, yeah, powdered citric acid, sugar, regular granulated sugar, corn fiber, which is a powder, and gelatin powder. Literally just mix it up. And then, in theory, if I got it to work, I would just, be able to scoop that and add, some amount of water and color and, some sort of fruit flavoring.
Are the particles different sizes? Can you tell?
Yes. The citric acid and the sugar have a very similar, like, particle size and consistency. The corn fiber has the corn fiber and the gelatin have a more similar, different, like, smaller, drier, powderier consistency to them, whereas the other two are sort of like little crystals. So it's possible that it might separate over time.
I feel like that if you jostle it around, the bigger crystals will be at the top over time. And so a scoop would need to go all the way down to the bottom to be a full, like a proper scoop. So yeah, you'd probably have to mix it in every time anyway. Because you can't rely on like it being uniform throughout whatever container it's in if you move the container at all.
it would be okay as if like I just have to like pick up the jar that I store it in and just give it a shake. Like if that would do it,
I think
that would be fine. You think that would make it worse?
That when you get like different things and you shake it, the smaller things will find gaps in between the bigger things, and the bigger things would rise to the top. So if you shake it, the bigger things would be at the top. You'd need to mix it instead of shake it. Like fold it in over itself and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, if I have to like mix it together with like a spatula or a spoon, then it's kind of like what was the point? I will try it. I will try it again and try to be more thorough about it and just convince myself like, okay, no, I mix this as well as possible. This is definitely not a time-saving measure. I bought a bunch of like glass jars to store different ingredients in. I have a jar for sugar and a jar for acid and a jar for fiber. And I was just like, why did I even bother? I could just keep them in bags that they come in. It's not that much more convenient. Maybe I should just use these jars to store the pre-mixed powdered combo. I was thinking to myself. I think it would be nice. It would be nice and convenient if I could just get. I could have one for the fiber formula, and I could have another jar for the non-fiber like sugar formula. Hey,
you have little labels on them.
Yeah. What if I just became a drug lord and started selling weed gummies? What if I did that? What if I sold them through the mail, which is completely illegal, but I would never get caught?
Well, they may listen to the podcast.
No. They aren't allowed. If you're a cop, turn this podcast off right now.
Civilians only.
What if I like left?
What is the legality situation on selling weed? Like,
yeah,
it's a legal substance now, but you probably have to get a permit or something, right?
To be a vendor, you need a permit, but I think a lot of people get around that with like a sort of like it's technically a gift, like you're technically making a donation to me and I'm giving you the weed as a gift, right? I think it's a little bit like, it's probably a little bit illegal, but you can sort of technically get through a loophole. I think technically you need some sort of permit or license to sell marijuana products for a profit. It's definitely illegal to put them in the mail, but I was just thinking, I've sent so many other things that are not. I've sent pins in the mail, and I've sent them as letters. I've sent them as envelopes for the cost of a stamp, even though they contain, non-paper goods, and it works. And it would be so easy to do that with gummies. It would be so easy, and I wouldn't have to go to the post office. I wouldn't incur any risk. I would have no return address. I could just drop it in a mailbox, and 99% of the time, it would arrive at its destination. No delivery fee. Every weed vendor around here, it's they don't send them through the mail. They're a delivery service. You contact them and you order what you want, and then they come and they deliver it to you because it's not legal to send stuff through the mail. But there's I was looking up. It's like $50 delivery fee. It costs a lot. I guess if you're buying in bulk, that's fine. But it's like how it's really expensive to get food delivered with DoorDash. Like the fees just pile up.
Yeah.
I think weed is like that, but like even worse. So I don't know. Here's what I'm saying: is that I definitely would break the law for personal gain. I definitely would do that.
You could just have like you could buy a bike and you could cycle around with like a hamper on the front, and it'd be the weed gummy hamper, and you could sell.
Cringe. That's work. That's work.
No, but it would be really funny to see like the bicyclist weed seller. You could have a little horn on the side. You can honk the horn, say, "Get your weed gummies." You have a little straw
ding,
hat.
ding. Yeah. Extra, extra. Read all about it. Marijuana
Read all about
legal.
it. You're high. POV.
Yeah.
You're buying my product.
What if I just left flyers? What if I just left what if I left? How would I advertise it? How do I advertise my weed by mail service? I want to do
flyers with an insane like picture of you with like your science experiment sort of like gummy stuff.
No.
And it's like Crazy Ben's evil illegal weed.
Yeah, that's stuff. You know what? You're right. I should put out literal pictures of myself with my home address on them advertising my illegal services. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely.
How could it go wrong? It would be so cool. Everyone would want to buy the Crazy Ben's illegal weed gummies.
I'd have so many like undercover cops like in my emails like, "Hey, I was interested in your product actually." I don't know. I just
And then you tell them to come to this specific tile on your in your floor. They stand there and then you trap door and they fall down the chute.
I could do it. I could do it discreetly. I could just leave flyers around that were like, I don't know, maybe they just have a logo on them. Nothing fancy, nothing too attention grabbing, but they're like, hey, just saying, if you send $20 to this PayPal,
something good will happen.
you will receive, a certain milligrammage of edibles in your mailbox within the week, Maybe I don't know. I feel like that's a service. People might be interested in. And I just want money. I don't like weed, but I like money.
True.
I never get high on my own supply, is what I'm saying.
I liked that one time that I was high.
Okay.
And it was like, whoa. That's my experience.
Yeah, I'm not a super big fan of it myself personally. But that's okay. Different strokes for different folks.
I still prefer getting drunk because I feel
I have not drank. No, wait, that's not true. I drank with my friends a few weeks ago, and because then on the Unique Namosaurus episode, I was hungover. That was my first time drinking alcohol in like quite a while, like a month or two, which is fine. It's bad for you.
No, it's bad that you are not an alcoholic, Ben.
That's
cringe. That's cringe that you didn't drink every day.
I gotta say, it's pretty cool of me that I only drink socially, and I only ever smoke when I drink. So, yeah, there was for a while there. The only time I would drink like by myself was during the height of the pandemic, is when I would go and I would get 2 bottles of champagne from the local liquor store, and I would just drink them in my room.
Oh no.
That was pretty. I mean, those were dark times. Felt
the need to like drink heavily.
I didn't do it all the time, but I did it a few times.
Like I've only drunk socially. There's been a few times where I'm like, man, I think I need a beer to relax. But one beer wasn't enough, and I couldn't be bothered to get another one. So I just drank it, and it was like, well, whatever.
Well,
doesn't feel the same when there's not a party atmosphere or some sort of event happening.
Yeah. It's when you're just by yourself. It's like it's sort of like when do I stop? At some point you get a little buzzed, you get a little drunk, and then you're like, I guess on the one hand it makes me like more like I want to go to sleep. So it's like whereas if I'm sober, which is most of the time, I have a tendency to tell myself like, no, I don't want to go to sleep yet. Like, no, I want to do something else before. Versus if I'm drunk, I'm like, I'm a little tired. Oh, I'll go lie down and go to sleep. So it's kind of good.
Isn't that a recipe for disaster though? If you go to sleep while drunk before you drink water.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, it can be.
Because that's where you get whole hungover.
That's true. So, it's a mixed blessing. Alcohol truly is a mixed blessing.
It's a double-edged broken bottle.
Let me see here.
You know, when they say double-edged sword, what do they really mean? Because a sword has an edge, and some swords only have one side of it that's sharp. And other swords, like a broadsword, has both sides.
Yeah.
Does a double-edged sword mean that the handle is also a blade? Because that doesn't even exist. They don't have those.
Yeah, the thing about the thing about the saying, "Oh, it's a double-edged sword," is that like lots of real swords are double-edged and they
perfectly
good. They work
good.
fine.
I think the implication must be that you are holding a handle that is also cutting you like a blade, which is maybe the saying is like it's referencing a sword that is a stupid idea that wouldn't exist, but that it doesn't make sense.
Double-edged swords. I mean, most like European broadswords were all double-edged. You didn't cut yourself. You just swing it away from you instead of towards you, and it's fine. That's the trick. That's the trick that no one they don't teach you in sword school. You got to swing it at the other guy.
Like a double-edged sword, meaning like you swing it forwards, killing the enemy, and then you swing it backwards, stab yourself. Well, if it wasn't a double-edged sword, you couldn't stab yourself. Although you could, because every sword has a point. It's a double-edged sword.
I wish this conversation had a point. Even one, not let alone two. So
a quadruple-edged board.
There was in Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. There's triple swords, which is just like 3 sword blades like next to each other on one hilt.
Oh, and so like if you stabbed, it would make a little.
It would like cut you 3 times.
3 times.
The thing about that's funny about that is that like it literally like is barely. It would be so much less effective than just one sword. Like there's
because if you managed to slice, you couldn't go very far because the other 2 blades would like stop it from entering.
Yes, it would distribute. Further. It would distribute the pressure that makes the cut. It would cut it in 3, and you would not cut as deep. It's like so fucking stupid.
I know why they do maces like that, just to make it a little easier to hold, but still have a lot of like weight to it, and like smaller surface area of like contact.
Yeah.
Like an iron ball on a stick would be harder to swing. It would hit more, but it's so soft and round, so that they make them like many little tiny, like, what do you call them? Like flanges of a mace?
Yes, flanges. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if to make a triple sword like that, it's gonna blunt its own impact. You might as well use a blunt weapon at that point. If you really want to distribute the impact. I love my mace. I love Leopold, my flanged mace that I got from King Richard's Fair.
Forgot it had a name.
It does have a name. Does it make any appearances in the Dojin? I don't know if it does.
I don't recall.
My character design, my character reference had the mace. So a bit stupid if it never got drawn into any of those pages, but it might not have because it was never like relevant to any of the scripts. It definitely does appear in the OVA at least once. I made sure to have the mace in the OVA whenever that gets done. So it will make an appearance, I'm sure. Speaking of the Dojin, yeah, you saw there's only like 6 pages left, I think, before it's done. It's like it's like pretty close.
How many are completed? I forgot the total number.
I think the total is like 24 or something.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like mostly done. Yeah. I don't want to release it, but I want to release it alongside the OVA. So hope Nate Nate has reassured us again recently that he will start working on it very soon.
Yes, we've got more of a system to like check in on progress.
We all agreed that like we need to like we need to be checking up on the progress on this, which is good. And I don't know. I hope he gets done. I really hope he fucking does it. I'm sure he will eventually, but I hope that eventually is now, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of weapons...
Yeah.
I've had...
A gun.
No. I've had a gun, and I shot
Yes!
no,
did you kill the queen, Gib? No!
No, they found out.
Eleazar, cut it out.
Eleazar,
quick, cut out which prominent British political figure who recently died Gib is directly responsible for the murder of. Definitely don't
Prince Philip.
Okay. We can't let him know.
I was thinking of like Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm like I'm just sort of feeling it right now, and I'm like, well, how do I kind of want to DM a game. I kind of want to be the person who comes up with a thing and see what those little rascals, those player characters, what they get up to.
That's interesting. Have you played before?
I've only ever played like statless like roleplay mini game adventure things with a few groups of people.
Honestly better than D&D in my opinion.
Yeah. And it was fun. I had this one with a group that had Munchie in it, and I had this character, which was like, it was a crippled boy who had unearthed an ancient technology. It was the Atlas, the Boston Dynamics robot, and in using the Boston Dynamics robot Atlas,
like the dog,
the boy could. No, the walking one, the humanoid.
Okay, yeah.
Atlas is the one who can do backflips and stuff. So this crippled boy, this crippled urchin farmer boy, and his like legs.
Was this in like a post-apocalypse?
Yeah, some sort of.
It sounds very Fallout.
It's not a post-apocalypse. It was some sort of like Norse thing, but I just said this, and everyone thought it was a cool idea.
Okay.
And so it was this little boy, and he needed to go on an adventure to find batteries. He needed to find batteries for the Boston Dynamics robot, because in their primitive culture, they didn't have batteries anymore. They don't know what that is. And the Boston Dynamics robot is like, well, I need fuel, I need energy. So he only has a limited amount of power before he powers down, and it's an adventure. And there's all the other characters there, and I thought that was fun. But it sort of petered out because it was difficult to get everyone together.
That's how it always goes. That's how it always goes with D&D, almost always.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I make the world,
honestly, yeah,
that's the hard part, right?
Finding someone who's willing to DM is the hardest part. So if you're willing to DM, that is the biggest hurdle removed.
Yeah,
true.
I think it would be nicer and more smooth, less stressful for me if I just made a world and people could come and have fun in it. Which is kind of what I already do with like world building for my comics.
So that game that you played, was that the statless one? Like, or were there
that was a statless one?
Okay, so you haven't played with like a character sheet and like rolling dice and stuff.
I think we rolled dice for like, do you do it or do you not do it successfully? Mm-hmm. There was no like additions and subtractions for character class things. It was just sort of like, I'm gonna do this crazy thing. All right, roll a dice. If it's even, you win. Yeah, it was very simple. But yeah,
I haven't played.
So there was failure.
I haven't played D&D in a long time. I think last time I played D&D would have been that time I had that Aztec campaign, which would have been in like 2018 or something. Do you have campaign ideas? Do you have like a concept for like
No.
a campaign you would DM? No, okay.
I have no like ideas. It's just sort of like a feeling. It'll be like, wouldn't it be? It would be kind of fun, wouldn't it, to be like watching everybody, like, oh, here's the gnome king, and he's got a question for you. And somebody says, I beat him to death with a mace, and it's like, oh,
okay,
he's
roll
quicker
them
than you
dice.
thought. You know,
roll
like,
them dice.
It's just like
rattle them bones.
It's a fun rattle his bones.
Have you seen that picture? There's a really funny joke on Twitter where, like, you know how you can spoiler an image on Twitter and you have to click it to unspoiler it to
on
see
Twitter. Oh yeah.
There's a really, sometimes I'll see one that's like, oh, like this image contains sensitive content, and you click unspoiler, and it's a picture of a bunch of like skeleton gangsters with Tommy guns, and it says like, they unspoiled it, rattle them, boys. I love it every time.
I like that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. I guess one thing I would say is it would be a challenge if you wanted to run like a rules D&D system with character sheets. Like the DM should really know the rules, you know?
Yeah.
So that's a challenge.
There's like books I need to read and stuff if I want to do like an official thing. But then I would require like the players to also read the books, which is another thing.
It's really annoying. It's really annoying when there's like one player that doesn't know the rules, and they're all like, how do I attack again? Like every time it's their turn, it's like, I mean, perhaps you know, but I hate D&D because literally nobody in the world understands how to play it right. Everyone is fucking stupid. Everyone plays it wrong. There's always just let me rant for 1 second. There's always one guy who, like, every time it's their turn, they're like, how do I attack? Wait, what does my armor class mean? Like, which saving throw do I use for that? What do I add to whatever check? And it's like, bro, you got your attack bonus, and you roll a d20, and you add your attack bonus. We've done this 100 fucking times, and you still don't know. There's always one. Usually there's more than one. Huh?
It seems complicated, though.
It can be complicated, but like 90% of the time it's not. Like 90% of the time it's like just like when it's simple stuff like attacking, or simple stuff like making a check to accomplish something. Okay, I mean there's that, and then there's my other thing of like, everybody always plays wrong because everyone always rolls. Everyone's always like, okay, Dungeon Master, can I make an acrobatics check to do whatever?
Oh yeah,
I remember
this conversation.
The player tries to tell the DM what skill they want to use to do something, when it should really be the DM being like, okay, it should really be the player saying, I want to do this, and then the DM saying, okay, to do that, here's what you need to do. And I mean, sometimes it might be okay for a player to be like, is it okay if I use my athletics skill instead of my acrobatics skill? Like, I'm not saying that should never come up, but like in general, most people just play wrong. Most people just play wrong in a way that like makes the game worse, and I'm sick of it.
I feel like it might be easier if I just invent my own Dungeons and Dragons rule set.
Oh God!
And have stats.
You think that's you might think that would be easy, wouldn't you? You would think that would be.
Yeah, you'd have like your stats fluctuousnessness,
Jesus.
And that affects your your bolus picking skill.
You are opening up a rabbit hole. You are opening up a rabbit hole there.
No, I know it can get extremely in-depth because I knew a guy in uni who had a system for magic, and they would talk about how it worked, how it was like based in physics and all of these things. And I'm like, these conversations would go on for extremely long time. I never really understood what on earth it was, but he was really into this system he'd invented. It's like I wish you well. That's the sort of.
I have a friend.
Couldn't get my head around it, but
one of the
it
guys
seemed fun. Like, I kind of wanted to do it myself, but I felt like
Yeah.
it was a little beyond me.
One of the guys I hung out with the other week is a guy who, he has come up with many different like pen and paper systems. I guess it's sort of a hobby of his. I think he actually told me that he had like recently published one. He had put one out, and like I think he had maybe crowdfunded it, and it had made like a few $1,000s, which was like really impressive. Like that's like most of those projects don't get anything, right? Like there's so many that receive no traction at all. I should have asked him for details because I don't remember like what the game was called or what the campaign was, but he mentioned that. But anyway, the point is that like he spends like years. He spent like years doing all these sorts of things, and there is it's really easy for a system to get way too complicated. And it's on the other side, it's like it's easy for a system to be way too simple, and then you find you're like, well, how does this rule system handle such and such? Oh, well, it doesn't, or I can't, or whatever. I never considered that eventuality. There was that game Risus that I found, or Risus, or Risus. That's like the one stat RPG where you're
Risus Pieces.
Your stat is your class, but your class is just like a descriptor, and it's something like runaway tomboy princess or something, right? Like you're like a level 1 runaway tomboy princess and like a level 2 I don't know, what's a crocheter or something, right? Like, so you have these descriptors of things, and anytime you want to do something, you're not rolling like a particular stat. You don't have like a value in athletics or acrobatics or search or intimidate or whatever. You just have like, okay, well, how good would a runaway tomboy princess theoretically be at this one activity? Is that something that one of them would do? And if it is, then you can use that class, that's quote unquote class, as like your modifier to accomplish the check. And I always thought that was really cool, and I never played Rises with anyone. I kind of meant to. I kind of wanted to do a game like that at like a RadCon, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, RadCons were always so weirdly hectic.
They were 4 was like really hectic. RadCon 4 was like, honestly, I probably could have organized one at 3 if I had really like put my mind to it. But then 4 was like every day we were doing stuff. So, didn't have time.
Yeah, the idea of an RPG system, I would want it to be like very simple if I were to make a rule set. Like something like Problem Sleuth. It has Vim and
What was
the other
simple things? Just a simple game system, like the one in Problem Sleuth.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if you're interested, you should get yourself, you should download yourself a PDF copy of like the 5th edition player's handbook and just like read through it and see like what's normal.
Get some ideas.
Yeah. 5th edition is good. 5th edition is like way simpler than 4th. 4th edition was a nightmare. 3rd edition was also a nightmare, but in its own way. 5th edition, they really kind of made it a lot more approachable. And I think it's good. And you should read it just to get an idea of like what the baseline, right? Because that's kind of like the entry point for most people getting into tabletop stuff is D&D. And we're still on 5th edition, right? They haven't made a new one.
I have no idea. I've heard terms like 5th edition, 1st edition. And I guess, like, it's a rule book, and they update it, whoever they are.
Yeah. Well, I did play 2nd edition once. The first time I ever played D&D was, like, right at the end of 2nd edition. 3rd edition was coming out. 2nd edition had THAC0, which was basically, they had a very counterintuitive system where to hit an enemy with an attack, you would roll with this number called the THAC0, but THAC0 was like you wanted your THAC0 to be low. You wanted your THAC0 to be low and the enemy's armor class to be also low, I think.
What does THAC0 mean? Is it an acronym?
Yes, it stood for 2 hit armor class 0. And so if your if your enemy's armor class was 0 and your THAC0 was a 3, you would roll a 20-sided die and you would have to roll a 3 or under. No, a 3 or over to hit armor class 0. And so if their armor class was higher, you would have to roll higher to hit. And that's why it was like that. Then 3rd edition they changed it, and now it's like your attack you have an attack bonus and they have an armor class, and now you just roll a d20 and add your attack bonus, and you compare the number to their armor class, and that's to determine if they hit. But 3rd edition had it had like a hugely expanded roster of like skills. Like I think the skill system was the thing that they sort of exploded in 3rd edition. And they kept adding on like more and more rules errata to it. They kept adding like an infinite number of prestige classes that you needed to like meet certain requirements in order to like multi-class into. And basically anyone could make their own fucking prestige class, and the like expanded rule set became like incomprehensibly complicated. 4th edition, they tried to make it simpler by like they instead of having all these sort of like uncategorized things that different character classes could do, every character class would have like a like set of things that were vaguely comparable to each other. Like a wizard had like a basic attack they could do, and they had like a once per battle effect they could do, and they had like a once per day effect they could do, and then like a fighter would similarly have all those things. And it felt very like, it was very World of Warcraft, it was very MMO like, and it kind of didn't feel like D&D. And then 5th edition is basically, it's more like 3rd edition, but I think they pared it down and they made it more approachable, and they think they were like, I don't know, I've only played a little bit of 5th edition. I think there are prestige classes, but there's like the rules around them are a little bit more like basic, and like you can't just fucking do any stupid thing you want with them. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
So it's the player's handbook I would need to read.
I would the player's handbook is the basic thing that is like, how do you play the game? If you wanted to DM, you would also want to get the Dungeon Master's Guide. And then the 3rd core rulebook is the Monster Manual, which is like, if you don't really need that if you're a player, but if you're a DM and you want to make like encounters, you would generally want to have the Monster Manual as like the thing to populate combat encounters with.
I see. I would probably want to make my own things. It would be like a Gib core version of Dungeons and Dragons, but I will. I'll maybe read.
You can do that. It's just the Monster Manual has, it's like, you know, it has rules for creatures that are like appropriate challenge levels to like the character class levels that with the players you're playing with. You know, like you could. The Monster Manual exists to give you like okay, I have a party of 6th level adventurers. All right, like what is an appropriate thing to have them face off against? And like you could like you could reskin a monster in the Monster Manual if you wanted to. Like you wouldn't have to describe it the way it's described in the book. It would be. I'm trying to imagine. Damn. I think it would be basically impossible to like design the Monster Manual. It explains like how challenge ratings are calculated, and like how a monster is constructed in order to be an appropriate challenge for a party. So I don't know. Trying to make like combat encounters without something like that would be, well, you'd be shooting completely blind.
Sure. Yeah. I just feel like the general theme of Dungeons and Dragons with fantasy like elves and magician people and gold and taverns.
Gold. Yeah.
It's like a very we know what that is thing.
Yeah.
But the player dungeon master like dynamic can be applied to different types of things. I mean, I know that that has already happened, but like it doesn't need to be a combat heavy adventure.
Oh, I mean,
many adventures do not have combat. It could just be like wild and wacky, and you meet weirdos.
Oh yeah,
little gremlins.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Combat is like the cornerstone of many video games and games in general. But
D&D
doesn't have to be.
The D&D rule set, the D&D rule set is mostly designed to facilitate combat. Like, it's sort of built under the assumption that that's like sort of the main gameplay loop. But I mean, it does have like skill systems and things that are it can accommodate non-combat scenarios. Is it necessarily the best and most robust system for non-combat scenarios? Maybe not, but I mean,
I just like the dynamic. Like, I build a world and like, hey, come play in my world. It's it's kind of like building a map in a video game.
Yeah, sure.
Making a Minecraft challenge run map or a puzzle map, and then watching people play it. I guess just making a game, watching people play it in general is the sort of feeling.
How would you feel if you made a campaign or you made an adventure, and then your players just like started to play it, and then they just like ignored the main objective? They just started fucking around.
If I was unprepared, then I would feel a little silly, a little stupid, because like they're doing these things, and I'm like, I have to make stuff up.
Classic scenario. The DM has like an adventure bit made where they're like, okay, in this adventure, the adventurers will have to rescue the barmaid's daughter from a local a kobold den that has kidnapped her, right? And then you start.
And then they say, we don't care, or let's join the kobolds, or whatever.
You start it, and it's like, you start in the tavern. Are there any wenches in the tavern? I'm gonna go hit on the wenches. Oh, I'm gonna get into a drinking contest with this orc over here. I'm gonna just light the place on fire because I'm chaotic evil blackguard, and I just do evil things just to fuck things up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure when you do that, you don't tell the players, here's the adventure. You say, like, you enter a tavern, and there's these things described. And so you put things in there that they might be interested in. Yes, and maybe if you want to force it, like, somebody smashes down the door and starts shooting. Yeah. and then there's, like, a combat encounter that forces them into... Like, it's the same way you would construct the inciting incident for a character in a fiction of any kind. It's like, if you just let the character exist and nothing interrupts their normal life, then they're not going to have an inciting incident. You have to introduce it.
You know what? That's
so
a good
you would
point.
introduce it the same way.
That scenario I just described, the DM has failed by counting on, like, oh yeah, I just gotta hope that my players will like start a conversation with the barkeep and ask him, like, hey, are there any adventures to go on? And he'll say, yeah, my daughter just got kidnapped, actually. Now that you mention it.
It's such a weird thing that's in, like, so many, like... I mean, I know it's ingrained in, like, we know that games do that, and that's, like, a thing, it's a trope. But, like, why would you go to the barkeeper and ask if there's some adventure to happen? Yeah. I need a quest. Who talks like that? Who would need a quest? What sort of a weirdo do you need to be to, like, actually want to go questing?
I mean, maybe the party paladin.
Unless you know you're playing a video game.
Yeah, in a video game, like, it's like, okay, there's only one thing I can do.
Like the ultimate situation is that you build a world, and then the players are actors, and they act how they would act, or whatever the player would act. I mean, and it doesn't necessarily matter that they. I don't know. I mean, it would require game, like good faith, like, responses on the part of all the players.
Even
but
in
that
a
would
video
be the
game,
ideal.
Even in a video game, if you give the player too much freedom, they'll ignore your quest. Like, that's why, like, instead of like doing the campaign in like Grand Theft Auto, you know, people would just grab a rocket launcher.
I cause car pileups.
Yeah,
that's the game.
That's the game. That can be the game. All right. All I'm saying is that the world DMing a campaign is a cruel mistress. It's a deep rabbit hole that will chew you up and spit you out and ruin your life. But,
well, I could start small.
But you got to do it. Nevertheless, you must do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. But I mean, hey, I'm here to advise if you want I don't know, input on anything to do with that, because I've done a lot of it before.
I'll read those books and I'll get back to you.
Definitely read those books, in particular the Player's Handbook, just to get an idea of like what the game is and what the like baseline concept of like a tabletop role-playing RPG looks like.
They should have called it Bludgeons and Daggers. That's way cooler.
Bludgeons and Daggers. That's like the no role playing, like combat only, like tabletop mini version of it. Yeah.
You're in the blood pits, you gotta fight your way out.
Bludgeons and Daggers. Shit. What's
Doldrums and Blackguards. There's too many you could make.
Blackguard. I think I said Blackguard before, but I meant Blackguard. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Spelled Blackguard?
Yes. It's in the opposite of a paladin is a blackguard, and I grew up thinking it was said Blackguard because it's spelled Blackguard, but no, it's actually pronounced Blackguard. But you would never know that from reading it.
I guess I'd never read it before. I've only heard it.
Have you heard it as Blackguard or Blackguard?
Blackguard. I didn't know it was like a guard.
Yes, it's spelled Blackguard.
I've heard it in like scenarios like where it's like used as an insult. Oh, blackguard. Like wastrel,
I mean,
or ruffian.
I've never seen it used that way. The only context I've ever read it in is in the context of reading up on the prestige class called Blackguard in the Dungeon Master's Guide in 3rd edition. So, like, why would I know how it's pronounced?
A scoundrel. Right? A man who uses foul language in front of a woman. Scoundrel, unprincipled, contemptible. I guess it makes sense that it would be like the opposite of a paladin.
It's funny, it means like villain or ruffian or something. In D&D, it's more like it's like a dark knight. It sort of has a more like it has a more sort of noble connotation in D&D. Yeah, it's sort of a high status thing, but the word is like. The word where it comes from, it's like a lowly, sort of despicable thing. Whereas, Dark Knight is more like, he's dark. He might be dark, but he's still a knight, though. Somebody knighted him. Some king, some dark king somewhere.
Some shit king
conferred some honor upon him. Do you want to jump to voicemails?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you want to look at these ones that Oblivion Fall generously agreed to. So let's start with an ultimatum from Joshua Moon. Oh, I assume it goes on to say owner of Kiwi Farms. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
I bet you my ass is fatter and more people are going to look at me if I show my ass in public than you.
Thoughts?
I would say.
Do you agree?
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what his ass is like.
I've never seen it.
No. So.
Never seen him. No, don't even know.
I'm flying blind here, but I'm gonna say no way. I got the fatter ass. Everyone's gonna look at me, and nobody's gonna look at you. So don't even bother showing your ass, you idiot. All right, next one is called fiveheadbensaint.mall.mp3.
There's also an imager above it.
Yeah, let's look at
It's from BronyCon.
That's from BronyCon.
The last BronyCon, I believe.
I mean, yep.
Because you didn't have... Yeah, you
That's
had
when
the
I
hair,
had the pink hair.
The pink hair.
I mean, looked alright. Looked fine.
The fucking... That convention center is the liminal space, for sure.
Oh, that room. That big room.
That huge, endless carpet.
That big room is a liminal space, for sure. Yeah, that place is in the back rooms. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, the back rooms.
Yeah. When I say that, I think of the backyard from Guilty Gear. I wonder if my video will be out by the time this episode releases. It's not impossible, but I don't want to guarantee it either.
Never make any promises ever.
True. Okay, so the voicemail, yeah. Ben Saint Fivehead. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
It's a beautiful day. Damn! Look at my fucking forehead. Fuck.
Well, now I'm all head. I shaved and now I'm all head. So get owned.
Your forehead, your back head, side head,
top head, bottom head.
What's bottom head? Or is it like the right at the back at the like? What do you call it? The cranium.
The bottom head is secret hidden head that you only get.
Oh, it's inside the skull. I see.
Yeah. It's precious, rare and precious. Okay. Next one is called Mentos Trio Who. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, Ben. It's been so many years. Please. Who the fuck was the Mentos Trio? Please. Repeat it. Do it.
I've explained this
I've been
before.
waiting for so long.
I've explained the Mentos Trio before, haven't I?
I don't remember.
Well, okay.
I don't think I've ever heard Mentos Trio before.
I've definitely mentioned it. Okay, well, I don't remember. Yeah, why would I mention it and then not explain it? Did I say I was going to make it like a Patreon thing? I don't remember. No, okay, I'll explain the Mentos Trio. It was, well, when I was in like middle school, when I was, a young teen, 12 or 13 or so, there was this summer program that my parents would send me to. It was called College Academy, and this is where I learned to play D&D because it was sort of like a mock college thing for like younger kids, where you would sign up for quote unquote classes. I mean they were classes, but some of them were, they were fun. They were things like rocketry, where like you would make a little model rocket. There was one where you would just play D&D, and that was where I played 2nd edition D&D the first time. So there was anyway, on the bus ride to College Academy, there were these slightly older kids. I've definitely explained this, but I'll explain it again. There were these kids that were like slightly older than me, and they had this thing that they would do, and they would buy Mentos before every bus ride, and then they would wait until the bus came to a stop, and then they had this piece of paper that they would write Mentos the Fresh Maker on, and they would like slam it against the window in the back of the bus, and they would hold their Mentos out and they would give thumbs up, like someone freeze framing in a Mentos commercial. And they would just pose with the sign that says Mentos the Fresh Maker. They'd be like thumbs up, like, yeah, holding their Mentos. And they would just see what the person in the car behind the bus would do in response to this.
Oh, I see. I thought they were doing it to the rest of the bus.
No, to the person in the car behind us. And that was it. It was just these 3 kids that would do this thing on the bus to College Academy. And I joined them one year because like one of them graduated, and so they needed a new member. And
there must always be a Mentos.
There must
trio.
always be a Mentos Trio. Like when one, yeah, basically. One graduates and someone else has to step up and take their place, and it got to be me for a little bit there.
I wonder if
I took it very seriously. You wonder if it's
I said I wonder. I wonder if it survives. Like if after you
doubt
left,
it.
somebody replaced you.
I doubt it because I think it was the brainchild of like one particular guy who had a very particular sense of humor, and I think that probably with him gone, maybe I carried on the legacy for a little bit, but I sincerely doubt that it discontinued. I don't know if College Academy even exists anymore. Let me find out.
I thought you were gonna Google like Mentos Trio. They got a website now. They're a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Oh my god, it's been going for 43 years. Well, the website still exists, so yeah. There's a version for younger kids called College Gate, and there's a version for slightly older kids called College Academy. I didn't do College Gate. I just started the College Academy. Man, those are good times. Those are some of my like funnest memories from being a kid or from College Academy. That shit ruled. It was only for like 3 weeks out of the summer. I wanted it to go all summer. Ugh, good times. Good times back in the day. Okay. Anyway, that's your explanation, voicemailer. Next one is called Who, When, Why. 3, 2, 1, go.
What am I fighting for? The real question is, where?
Where am I fighting for?
Well, he was fighting for Earth because it was, well, I guess he was fighting against Repliforce, which was had retreated to like a space station, I guess. So, no, it doesn't really work. Sorry. You know, he's a global fellow. He's
a globalist.
He's a globalist. He's not fighting for any particular place. He's fighting for all of humanity. All of humanity was put in risk by the by the coup that Repliforce was trying to pull off. It wasn't about like the nations or locations.
Yeah, the answer to the question of where is everywhere. Anywhere, anytime. I'll fight. I'll fight anyone.
That's right. That's right. Next one is called Requiem for a Meme. 3, 2, 1, go.
Actually, didn't realize there was a 90-second rule before I decided to send this little voicemail. Otherwise, this would have been a much, 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 much.
Oh my god.
Much. much longer and in detailed story about my ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
But I'll just get to the important part, which is my ex-girlfriend is fucking I don't know why
Jesus. This is creepy.
It's quite a bit of drama, so tell me, procrastinators, because you guys seem to be geniuses when it comes to women, clearly. And the undisputed kings of dealing with femininity, so...
I didn't catch that.
I don't know.
I didn't catch the question.
I don't know what to say, but thanks for the voicemail anyway. Was that somebody else's voicemail that this guy just chopped and screwed?
No, it seems like it was part of the bit was that it was like, oh, it's a generic thing,
okay,
but it's fucked up audibly.
Pretty fucked up. All right, the next one. Okay, we got from Prince Isolation. We've got another Slime Times Weekend Update, parts 1 and 2. So let's do part 1. 3, 2, 1, go.
Are we back? Oh,
we're back,
God,
baby.
2 weeks. Okay, we're back with the Slime Times Weekend Update. A lot has happened. Where shall we begin? All right. Rowdy elections were concluded, and the new rowdy ringleaders are Mischief Knight, an anthropomorphic bunny, Demodunk, a janitor made of crystal, and yours truly, a demon prince with dashing looks and no brain to speak of.
He's made of crystal?
I shall thus be serving a second term through no political maneuvering or dick riding whatsoever.
Good.
In other news,
Love to hear it.
Shoko held a Slimoid tournament for the whole community, of which Rowdy Olive was the final winner. And the
Based.
second one is happening within an hour of this recording.
Based.
As per reward, one receives a snazzy-looking medal. Some updates to the city include natural disasters, including meteor showers, firestorms, and tornadoes, and a new update which adds some missile launches as weapons and free apples at the candy store. They kill you because Demodunk is a green witch, apparently. All right,
Okay.
see you in part 2.
Wow.
I don't know how I feel about the only newspaper about that talks about the slime in Lakakam being elected. It sort of feels like you could abuse that position.
Prince was doing Slime Times before the elections. I mean, no, I think you're right. No, I think there is a rowdy bias in the reporting.
There's potential here for major scandals.
But I mean,
to be covered up.
the way that you counter that is with the free market. There's a demand for the other side of the aisle. There's a demand for killer reporting, a killer slant on the news to oppose this mainstream media cuck shit. That's cool that they're having Slimoid tournaments. Man.
Yeah.
Remember when I made Slimoids? Remember when I crafted them out of numbers and my brain?
I do.
Yeah, me too. They're still going. How cool is that? Anyway, part 2, 3, 2, 1, go.
Then, finally, the terrible news I must bring you all today. Several weeks ago by now, Janitor and Rowdy ringleader Demodunk used the new fun command to beat killer Ebola spreading in-gang violence. With it, he was able to turn the normal commands into fun commands, which Ebola was unable to use for lack of understanding of fun. Demodunk, having had prior knowledge of fun, thus gained an unfair advantage in the eyes of many and was ultimately arrested of his own volition. Still, this arrest could not quell the bloodlust of the disgruntled masses. Fun was ultimately removed from the game.
No!
That's right, dear listeners. Fun is officially no longer part of Endless War. Strangely,
fun has been banned.
No one has seemingly noticed any significant difference.
No fun allowed?
Oh well, that's it for this week. And remember, the slime time is the best time, but most certainly not a fun time. Ta-ta!
I can't believe they banned fun from Endless War. That's so cringe.
It's the image.
No. What is that? Are those guys from like Battlestar Galactica?
No, I think this is from the Sonic comic book.
Oh yeah,
they're like, we're evil and right. Dr. Eggman's robots. No fun allowed. Oh, what the fuck? I'm sorry.
Did I mention that the killer Kingpin, the cop killer himself, died in Endless War because I tried to have fun without having a fun pizza.
You were tricked into it, as far as I remember.
I was duped. I think it was Demodunk that duped me.
Fucking dead.
Fucking dead. The economy is in shambles. You know what? Honestly, after that, I gotta say I'm glad fun was banned. I think it was. It's probably best for the game to not allow it. Honestly, so good job, everyone. The system works. Based. Okay, those are all the messages that were sent to Oblivion's temporary side voicemail. Again, the regular voicemail box is, in theory, operational again. So let me just see what we got. Let's see what we got over there. Speak pipe. Okay. Well, there's I think the first one is Ben's weekly reminder: play Deltarune Chapter 2. Okay. Then Ben's weekly reminder: catch up on One Piece. Okay. Then no voicemail, no watch. Okay. The first real one is new voicemail contest. So 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, I've got a fun new event. It's the PCP typing competition.
He's winning.
Oh my god, he's typed so much.
Dude, what are your WPMs on that shit, bro?
It's like NaNoWriMo.
Bro. He's going for it. He's gonna break the world record.
That's it.
All right,
Nice.
if you can clickety clack further down the track, you win.
I don't think anyone's gonna beat that. I'm just gonna post. This is the one we just listened to. The next one is
Two Imager links.
It's two Imager links
Oh, is it
from
blocked?
Prince Annihilation at finallyback.com.
The first one doesn't work.
Yeah, it looks like it's cut off. I think it doesn't have enough letters. Oh well. Sorry about that. But the second one, let's try the second one.
Second one works.
Ah! Fun, gun. Why does no one fun? So true. Let me post the.
Yeah.
Damn, it really do be like that. Is all I can say. The next one is. Oh, I think this is more Vinny stuff.
All right.
Vinny stuff killed the podcast last week.
Killed the
or 2
podcast,
weeks
so
ago.
we can't-
literally killed the podcast.
Is there a way to tell whether this will do the same thing?
Well, you know what? We just won't post the link. We just won't. Just don't link it in the description.
Okay. Put it on the screen though.
Yeah.
Unless
Well,
it's
I mean,
unless it's too much.
The last one was. It was like. Oh my god. Yeah, it's too much.
Oh.
The last one was marked like mature content. Like you had to like click like yes to see it if you're like, are you 18 plus?
I see. That was probably what caught the thing.
Yeah, I think it was like auto. Oh my god. Okay, there's a lot of these. Cheesy Manfredo, stand pie in your eye. No reference pic. Is this just what he assumes Cheesy looks like?
Yeah. Why has he got like Zorro hair?
He does have like Zorro hair. He has a gap in his teeth. It's hard to make it look good in pen. Wait, is this the stand or is this Cheesy?
Cheesy has images of themselves.
Yeah, it's not. You could find it quite easily. So maybe okay. Pie in your eye. Pie in your eye activates on contact with flesh or most effectively when in contact with your eyes. When the target is affected, their perception is warped into a hallucinated reality. The affected reality differs from person to person. The hallucinations can be manipulated or controlled by Cheesy and his stand Pie in your eye. There was no reference pic for the first dude I drew, but the rest of their faces were based on the guy and his music album covers. Who? Okay. Next one is
I believe
that scene, Ben,
the
your favorite
continuation of the FLCL thing.
I think this is Nate as Camon. Hey Ben, gasp! Haha, sorry guys, I got carried away with the Fooly Cooly episode 5 scene. I came to Proposition Give and Take 4 podcast.
I love this face. I don't know why, but this panel is reminding me of Rugrats for some reason.
Rugrats, huh?
Don't know why.
I look so miserable. Conclusion to the Fooly Cooly episode 5 scene. Hey, Eleazar, maybe just put a censor bar over Gibbs' thick clappers in that first panel. Don't call them that. Sorry for giving you so much work to do. Oh, and then... Okay, so this is not the conclusion, because then it continues. Ben, we will duel for Give and Take's honor. The winner will have a podcast. with her.
I'm game. That's what I sound
for
like.
it. It's Haruko.
Oh, yeah.
Give and Take's on. Here's my podcast. It's all for you. Never in a million years will you ever get anything from me for a butt full of lead. That's not in here, but I mean, yeah, this is the scene. Wait, look at the top right. This is drawn on like some.
Yeah, it's like a schedule of something. It's got
old celestial
critical parameter. Critical parameter.
Critical parameter. I thought this was like some astronomy stuff or something. Yeah. I mean, Lamau. It ends there. I'm not drawing out the rest. No, Vinny,
Yeah,
it's okay.
you don't need to
have
draw
to draw
the
the
entire
episode. The rest of the episode wherein Haraku, why does he spell it like that? Flies around in a bunny outfit and kills a big guy in a trench coat. Imagine give and take in a bunny outfit being all sexy, but nope, not for me. My formerly innocent hands shall not be partaking in the making sexy images of give and take, no matter how people want it. I merely saw it as a tee-hee ha-ha to have behind closed Discord groups, but Ben had to have give and take sexy butt cheeks drawn as his favorite anime and also be shown to his impressionable YouTube audience. Tisk tisk, I say to you, Ben Saint.
Wait, is he saying that you asked him to draw this?
He's not... I don't know if he's saying that I asked him, but he's saying that it was because I demanded it.
I merely saw it as a tee-hee ha-ha.
Yeah. It's unlike Ben, who took it very seriously. To me, this was just tee-hee ha-has. This was just laughing matters, but Ben had to
Ben,
go
it was
ruin
serious
it.
business.
But, okay, is this me as Beetlejuice?
Yeah.
Say my name three. Yeah, say my
Ben
name.
Saint, Ben Saint, Ben Saint.
Haha, thanks.
I like
Am
my
I
Vriska coat.
Am I exuding like green vape out all my bodily pores?
No, it's called stink lines.
Well, I'm holding the vape. I have my vape cartridge in my hand there.
Oh, it's
Okay,
Ben Saint as Beetlejuice and Gibbsake as Vriska.
Oh,
Yes, I've seen
Halloween
this one.
costume get. This is the last thing I had drawn for the podcast. The next things are of my own imaginations. Okay, it's a ferret. It's a caterpillar cat. His name is Taffy. He's a magic little guy and generates magic paws to defend himself or hunt out like cats do. It's a creature concept I have for my personal comic I'm trying to produce.
Cool, like a Rayman cat.
A caterpillar, like a ferret. That's just a ferret.
But with
This is
Rayman
something-
hands.
This is something that my wife has kicked to gear, and this guy has a wife.
We learn something new every day.
And yet he doodles Ben Saint at work. What a paradox.
These things can't. These things
These things
completely
are just
contradict
they're
each
mutually
other.
exclusive from each other. And then something that my wife has kicked it to gear in my mind, a comic about her and I being a pirate and a mermaid that fall in love. That is so disgusting. That's sickening. That's too fucking cute, and I mean that with like the most negative connotation I can possibly muster. My wifey Aurora and then her two aquatic sidekicks. It's a small spiny dogfish shark and a Hawaiian monk seal. The shark... Wait, I skipped it. I'll read the whole thing. It takes place on this pumpkin island. This pumpkin mountain in the background is actually a volcano. This volcano wherein the natives tried discarding this cursed pumpkin into, but the thing blew up to shape of a pumpkin, so they stopped because it freaked them out. Then
I would stop.
I'd be like, yeah, we shouldn't have done that. The guy who brought all the cursed pumpkin to the island was isolated from the native society and made his home on top of the volcano. That's why there's a castle on top of it. Yep, checks out. That makes sense. My wifey Aurora and her two aquatic sidekicks is a small spiny dogfish shark and a Hawaiian monk seal. This shark is too small and weak to bite through the seal's thick layer of body fat, but he do try.
He do try. Look at that shark's little grin there. Little toothy grin.
Do try though. He do try. The seal. If he could, he would rend your body fat asunder. He would sink like in Dwarf Fortress. He would sink his teeth into your body, tearing the fat. This shark is too small and weak. Blah, blah, blah. The seal is one of 3 subspecies of earless seal, phocids, that are native to warm water environments. Unlike otarids, phocids do not communicate by barking. Instead, they communicate by slapping the water and grunting. You probably didn't know that seals get all the water they need from their food. Their bodies are very efficient at removing and recycling water from their food. They avoid drinking seawater. If a seal drinks too much seawater, it can become seriously sick.
Why is this all of the seal knowledge?
Animal facts!
Animal facts!
The Hawaiian monk seal is one of 2 remaining monk seal species. The other is the Mediterranean monk seal, and the extinct species, the Caribbean monk seal, is extinct. The story takes place on a fictional island, but I'm getting lightheaded. I'm gonna faint. But I had done a little research to find if there were any warm water mammals, and had some fun learning.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Hey, thanks for the seal facts.
I really like the shark. The shark little, like, sideways look with the big teeth sticking out.
He's doing that thing that dogs do when they look backwards and they show the white of their eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this is him as a pirate in the first one.
He looks like Larry Butts from Phoenix Wright.
Larry Butts. Is he in the first game?
He is. He's Phoenix's childhood friend, or one of them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I kind of see it. Abid, what could I say? Thanks for the voicemails.
Thanks for your creative output.
Thank you for I have no more to add.
You've been completely flabbergasted.
I've been dumbfounded, stymied, dumbfucked. I've been
Dumbfucked.
I've been dumbfucked by these posts. If you know what I mean.
I know, I don't.
Well, I mean, that's the last of the voicemails for this week.
Yeah. Oh, there's one more.
Is there?
Yeah.
No, there's not.
This is Happy Birthday, Ben.
Well, oh, yeah. Last one is Happy Birthday, Ben. Hey, thanks. Hey, I appreciate it. Reminder to everyone that the voicemails are back, and you can send us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/PCP voicemail. Is that it?
Yes.
I think that's it. It's linked in the description. We did the bonus episode where we went through all the old, never before listened to. We opened up the vault and we brought the old voicemails out from the vault from years and years ago. Hear us respond to people asking like, hey guys, why did Mumkey join the podcast or something? Were there any
I don't think
really
there were.
funny
we didn't come
questions?
over like any like
there
controversial
are
things.
questions. Well, there were questions about like Digine, who was still on the podcast at the time. We got a couple like responding directly to things she said. There were some about Nate. This was back in the day. Okay, so anyway, that's on patreon.com/Pro Crastinators. New bonus episode, along with 56 other bonus episodes, along with the classic Ben commentary. Hear me respond to myself. Just genius. How am I such a genius? Anything else?
I may start streaming Elden Ring soon. That's just a back in my mind thought. But no plans yet. I kind of want to get back into it.
I could try a stream sometime. I could try streaming again. My internet, sometimes it works fine. There are times when it's not so good, but like most of the time it works. So, it might be worth attempting another Minecraft or something stream at some point just to see what happens. Yeah. I'm a little bit disappointed with the internet at my new place, but I don't know. Maybe it wouldn't have the issues that my old place had. I'm not sure. I have to talk to Marin and get all the Minecraft server stuff sorted out. But anyway, I think that's everything. I think that's all the stuff I wanted to talk about this week. So, thanks for listening. Watch out for my new video, which might be coming out really soon. Might even be out by now, but it might not. Haha.
Hi.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
See you next week. Thank you.
Thank you very much.